Hi, I'm Jesse with the Window Solution in Temecula, California. I've been cleaning windows for the last 13 years. In the next few segments, I'm going to show you how I do my job. The first segment is going to be dealing with the tools I use to get my job done. If we want to do any job right, we have to have the right tools. First off, I'm going to start with some things that you might not necessarily associate with window cleaning. The screwdriver, number one. This is used to take screens out. I feel if you pull on those black tabs too much, pretty soon they pop off. So instead, I like to take the screens out with a screwdriver. Secondly, we have a razor blade. Now this is one big razor blade. Well, that's so I can cover the most glass in one stroke. I use this for removing paint or cement that might have got on the windows during construction. Next, we have steel wool. This is great for everything from doggy boogers on the window to kid fingerprints to anything, windows over your kitchen sink where they get splattered. Steel wool is what we need. I use grade 4-0 for this because it's abrasive enough to get my job done, but it won't scratch the glass. Don't use this on tinted windows or the razor blade, or it'll ruin them. Next, we have a brush. I find this incredibly useful. It's very soft bristle. Don't get a hard bristle brush. Get a horsehair brush if you can, or a synthetic horsehair if that's not available. I use this to wipe out all the tracks and to dust screens that are lightly dirty. Next, we're moving on to our fun stuff. This is a squeegee, obviously. When you use your squeegee, just make sure that the rubber isn't 2 years old and hasn't been sitting in your garage. Otherwise, it'll have a lot of cracks and be all dried out, and you'll have nothing but streaks all over your glass. Second, little brother squeegee. This guy obviously is for smaller windows. Third, this is a really important piece of equipment. Even if you're not doing this professionally, consider getting one of these. You need to scrub off all the dirt from your window before you squeegee it. Squeegees don't remove any of the dirt, so it has to be loosened either with your strip washer or with your steel wool or razor blade. Then you can squeegee. Other things I have here, my towels. I always carry 2 towels. One I change out frequently, and I use it just for glass. It doesn't touch anything but the glass. I prefer these blue surgical towels because they don't leave lint behind or anything like you'd find from a terry cloth towel or a newspaper. Secondly, I have a dirtier towel. Doesn't need to be pristine. I use this one for wiping out tracks, wiping off any water I spill, anything like that. Next, we have our booties. These are great to use if you're in and out of a house, walking through the garden, and then onto the tile floor. You don't want to leave a dirty floor in place of clean windows. Finally, I get asked a lot, what do you use on the windows? What's your solution? Well, right now it's summertime and I'm in Southern California. The weather's very hot, so I use 3 things mixed together. Use this as a detergent. It's nice on my hands. I use this, Sorbo Squeegee Glide. Really helps that squeegee slide across, even if the window's drying out a little bit. And then I also love Unger's Gel. I make my own little concoction using all 3 of those. In colder weather, sometimes I use this Sorbo product. It's a lot like TSP, trisodium phosphate, and you can find that in any hardware store. But I don't really like using it that much because after a day of this, your hands are going to be cracked and bleeding. We also have a bucket here that we use to hold water. And what we're going to be using in our next segment, track cleaning tools. I like a stiff bristle brush. You don't need to get a wire brush. Plastic will do, but make sure it's sturdier than a toothbrush. And for vacuuming out the tracks, I would prefer the Ryobi handheld vac, because I don't have to go and plug it in a new outlet for every room in the house. Alright, on to segment 2 where we're going to be doing track cleaning.